So when my wife told me she wanted a wagon, I'll admit the first thing I was envisioning was a red metal wagon like the one I had when I was a kid. So then you understand that when I got the box in the mail and I saw this huge package, I was pretty confused. Not to mention the price tag that these things come with. And also it was a little bit tough for me to get my head around on why we needed a wagon this big that can haul this many kids around when we have the UPPAbaby stroller, which will have a little conversion on it so you can haul 2 kids in it. And the UPPAbaby stroller that we have is, I couldn't say enough good things about it. I was a little bit hesitant to spend $1,000 on a stroller, but after having had it for a few years and using all the different features and things that came with the package, I think it was like $1,000. I'm a believer that's like a must-have for a new dad. So I figured getting the second seat made sense for that versus getting a whole new stroller. But then I found out that those things have a pretty low weight limit. I think 35 pounds is like the max you can have on those things. And my son is like about 3 pounds away from maxing out that stroller now. And we just had a new baby girl born this week. And in my house, we do a lot of walking in our neighborhood. We walk down by the lake. And so we put on plenty of miles on our stroller every season, probably at least 4 or 5 miles per week, because we go for a couple of walks a week, and our walks are generally about 3 miles, sometimes less depending on how the kids are doing. So it was clear we're going to need to figure out another solution. And so we got the Wonder Wheel. So initial thoughts are, looking at it, unfolding it, that this thing is built very well. Sturdy construction and a lot of features about it, like for example the leather handle that reminds me a lot of the UPPAbaby style. It also has that thick, tough material that UPPAbaby is kind of known for with their strollers. Unfolding it didn't seem very flimsy. It felt like it was, all the joints were tight and all in working order and should last a long time. Also the wheels, all the hardware on the wheels seems extremely tough. And I noticed that on the front they have little shock absorbers as well. So this thing is like a Cadillac as far as strollers go. Even going so far as to have a nice little storage pouch in the back, which is always going to come in handy. One thing about the UPPAbaby stroller, well, most strollers in fact, you have that little compartment underneath it which you toss backpacks or whatever else in there. So that's kind of the solution that this thing has, because you're giving up all that space by having like the shopping cart style. So before buying it though, they happened to be working at a fair and talking to different families that they saw pushing these things around and asking if they liked it, if they thought it was worth it. And basically the unanimous answer was yes, this is definitely a good buy, especially if you're going to have more than one kid and you like to go out festivals. The kids are contained, they're not going to get away from you, run off into the crowd. Kids like it because it's kind of like riding in style as far as they're concerned, and foldable and portable to be able to go to different festivals and the zoo and things like that. One of the upgrades though that they said was kind of unanimous across the board that you should get is the all-weather mat, because you're going to have kids with dirty feet in this thing, and the mat that comes with it at the base of the stroller is kind of the same material as the sidewalls, which is kind of like a cloth, so it may not last as long as like the hard all-weather mats like you would get in like a car. Even just from kids spilling their juice boxes and things like that, that thing is going to be so soaked full of filth by the time you're done with the festival, handing them food and drinks and all sorts of things. So my initial thoughts as far as the cons go, and this is admittedly getting a little bit nitpicky, but considering the price tag of these things, I don't know that it's a little unreasonable to pick it apart a little bit. I don't know how that's going to hold up over long term from unclipping and clipping in. The clips are extremely tight, so the rubbing in and out, how is that going to affect the stroller year after year? Now these things are supposed to last years, remember, probably until your kids are about 3, sometimes 4, all depending on the weight. Another thing that stuck out to me is that compared to like a conventional stroller, when you fold it down, it doesn't really fold up that small. We have a very small family car. Granted, we're going to be getting a bigger car, but if you have something like a Honda Fit, I have a hard time seeing this thing fit in the back of the storage compartment versus like a small stroller. The canopy also, if you're going to be collapsing it to put it in the back of a car, it doesn't exactly come out that easy. Maybe it's just because mine was brand new, but sliding those posts in and out was kind of a hassle. So there's like, you have to like disassemble it to get it to fold down small enough to get it in the back of a small car. However, I like that it comes with a lot of accessories. For example, there's that cargo pouch you can get replaced with like a cooler type version. Although I don't know why they didn't just start with a cooler. That almost seems like a no-brainer. And also, like I said, in the long term, this should last for me and my 2 kids for years. Should have no problem taking the weight of the kids, and in my opinion is better than the alternative, which is those double wide strollers. I always hate those at the zoo. This is still pretty big, but it's narrower than those double strollers. You have those double strollers. Now go to a festival, go to a crowd, and watch people try to push those things through the crowd. Nobody gets out of the way. They always seem to be causing a traffic jam. I think this is a good compromise to that, especially if your kids are getting a little bit bigger. The other downside, I would say, is getting the kid in and out easily. Double stroller, they can hop out real easy. This thing, you gotta toss them over the side. However, the front, I believe, does unzip for a little bit easier access, but then you're almost losing a seat in the front and defeating the whole purpose of having the 2 seats. Aside from that, I love that it's got all the different storage options, different pouches in the front and the back, and on the inside, each kid has like a little compartment next to their seat. Kind of like you would expect on like a minivan. They got that little pocket for devices or whatever, treats or whatever they happen to have. So there's no shortage there. Also, the thing is if you're gonna have 4 kids in this, and plus all their drinks and snacks and everything else, you can expect the weight to be pretty heavy. But these wheels seem like they're able to take it, and so pushing it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Another con, again, though, is, this is kind of nitpicking, is the brake doesn't, when you push it down, it locks into place with, which is like a gear system, which is kind of nice. But to disengage the brake, you have to use the tip of your toe and pop it up. It's not like the Up-A-Baby where you step on it again and it spring loads and pops back up. And granted, I had bare feet on, but popping it back up, at least the underside is like kind of rough. Would have been nice if there's like a rubber pad under it, or have a different design for like a spring-loaded release. Very minor detail, nitpicking, but again, given the price of these things, that's about as nitpicking as I can get. What do you guys think? I will post another one after I take it for a few walks, but as of right now, it seems like a very cool ride. So again, first impression of this thing is it seems at a glance excessive for kids. But like I said, considering that I go for walks often, especially in the summertime, we walk down to the beach and go swimming, and then I walk them back. By next year, I'm going to have 2 kids that are going to be way too heavy for the Up-A-Baby's weight limit. Cloth shopping cart, or like a baby version of a Humvee. So either way, cool stroller. Like that it's got the canopy. I'll do a more detailed review of it later, but this is just the assembly and quick initial thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you next time.